Thank God I scathed through 2.5 hours of Dan the Man. Oh my God. I don't know if you boys and girls know what it takes to get through 2.5 hours of Dan the Man. But now that we've scathed that, my life is intact. I didn't take a bump or nothing. We are here stirring the pot on Kincaid with my very special guests. We have a fan roundtable, and I'm going to call it, you guys are going to get a kick out of this. This one is going to be entitled Free99. Okay, that's what today's episode is called. Free99 after one Erick hunting. So this is Stirring the Pot with Donkey Cake. My very special guests: one Bob Thorp, one brother Bob, one the future Donovan, one Jim Kulick, one friend Erick, one Drinkwater, Mike Drinkwater, and we have a new special guest today. He's coming on. He's a guy who's on the scene. He takes a lot of pictures. That's why I think he's got a page called The Man Photo Dan. The Photo Dan. Why don't you tell us your name there, Mr. Photo Man Dan?
Dan the Photo Man.
Dan the Photo Man. He's joining our, there it is, our soiree, if you will. Mr. Kulick, I do see that your canine friends, they are very vocal today. Is everything okay? Are you beating your children?
They're always vocal. Anytime they see anybody walk by, they freak out.
Oh. So, okay, well, we're all sitting, so they should be quiet because we're not walking around Mr. Kulick's house right now.
They hear Drinkwater down the street.
Yeah, I'm spying on you.
Yeah, I can accept that. I know he's a creeper.
Wow.
No. All jokes aside, we like to have fun on the round table. We talk favorite talent. We talk favorite promotions. We even might have a special guest. Maybe just kind of walk in on our little party. You never know, because that's what we like to do, is give the fans a surprise. So the last time we talked, we had on Mr. Alex Cypher. We peed on him and he peed on us. And man, did we have some fun. Holy cow. So with that being said, Mr. Bob Thorp, could you introduce a new nickname that you have made up for one Mr. Cypher to the fans, if you will?
Mr. Cypher, I'm going to address you personally, sir. I'm going to start calling you Siphon. Siphon. Why Siphon? You suck.
Wow. What a way to kick. Look at Donovan. He is so happy when he hears shit like that. That's
to Siphon.
That's a fantastic way to start this program. And, whoa. Are you chewing stuff and drinking Mountain Dew? You're really killing me. It's got to be one or the other. Mr. Dan, the Photo Man, I want to welcome you to our little hangout sesh that we do. Now, could you tell us, the fans, what area that you're from? Because I'm from Connecticut. These guys are from Massachusetts and stuff. And we kind of make our way in, and we meet at different events, not always the same. Where are you out of, and what kind of promotions do you go to?
Well, I'm from a little town in upstate New York called Hoosick Falls. I'm relatively new to the wrestling scene. Right now, I work mostly with TIW, World of Hurt. I also work with NYCW, and most recently Survivor Championship Wrestling.
Now you go right up to ringside, and you've got the nice little setup. How have you become trusting enough? Because it's not easy. Let me fucking tell you. Look at me with a fucking phone and try to hit up some of these guys. Are you kidding me? So my question is, how do you get the trust of the men and women to get to that ring and give them that little trust factor?
Well, it started with just being on part of the audience, taking pictures, and a couple talents really liked it. Mark Adam Haggerty, one of my biggest promoters, he loved my pictures, and he pushed for me to come ringside and take more. Now,
Donovan, Mr. Donovan, have you ever had a run-in with a Mark Adam Haggerty at all?
No, I have not. I heard of him, though, and I've seen him before, but I never met him.
Unbelievable. If you meet him once, you'll never forget that man. He is a gem. Oh my goodness, is he a gem? He would even, he would push Drinkwater in his fucking lotto little thing that he's got going on. If you ever saw that, he would promote that. That's what Mr. Mark Adam Haggerty does. He promotes anything, anytime. Love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mr. Kulick,
Yes,
have you
sir.
ever heard of any of these promotions that Mr. Dan the Photo Man has described to us? The TIW, Survival, World of Hurt. Have you ever heard of those promotions?
Well, not really, brother. They're kind of up his way, man, but it's good to get that info. Like I said, man, we've come up with nicknames for everybody. We got to come up with one. Oh, I like that one, though. Dan the Photo Man. That's what I'm talking about. It's all good, brothers.
Now, Dan the Photo Man, we have a little group chat kind of going on right now. And everybody has a nickname. And there ain't no way that Mr. Kulick, you can change that nickname. It is what it is. That one
is what it is, man. It's all good, man.
Yeah.
Mr.
Mr. Drinkwater. Yeah. Mr. Drinkwater, I've seen you've been scratching those tickets. Could you tell us how much money you're down? How much money you're down?
At this point, I think I'm down maybe $25, maybe.
That ain't bad. Shit.
Today?
I was waiting to hear.
I haven't done anything yet. I still got two. I have to cash my tickets in later, and I'll be on later due to a video. So.
Well, it was better than what I was expecting. I was expecting, like, I don't know, maybe around 75,000 or so, but
Not that much. I'm not there yet.
Mr. Hunting, my friend,
Yes, sir.
we've been having some late night soirees, kind of chewing the fat, talking some wrestling, and I appreciate you and your lovely better half. Do I dare say that right now, friend? And what I call her, is that okay?
I would just keep it Anissa.
Oh, damn! Because I love saying that. Friend Anissa, we have some great conversations, and it's almost like we're doing a stir in the pot, if you will. But I look at the clock. Like last night, we talked for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Holy shit! How can you stomach me for that long?
We'll find out in an hour.
So what I'd like you guys to do, all of you except for Mr. Dan, kind of go back on this, if you will. Look up some of those promotions that Dan mentioned, the World of Hurt, the TIW, Truly Independent Wrestling, and a couple of the other ones. We had Survival Championship Wrestling, only had one show, but we're coming back. Once the ship boils over, we're going to be coming back. Check those out. I think you guys will see some good personalities over there,
I've heard of the NY
CW.
NYW.
Yeah.
CW.
I've heard of that one. That one I've heard of.
Now, Mr. Dan, the Photo Man, we are all aware of some of the familiar faces that go to NYCW. High Voltage Omar, Mike Skyros, the Great Nuka, some Kirby Wackerman. I mean, the list goes on and on. Yeah, look at Eric. I'll get all giggly.
Get a love of Kirby Wackerman.
Yes.
Some of our talent that we have grown to love, you're associated with them with the pictures. How cool is it to take the pictures down at ringside of these of the men and women right now?
Oh, it's great. I get a whole more personal aspect of it, and because I'm that close, I can hear a lot of what goes on in the ring, and it's really amazing.
Do you ever break and giggle when you hear some of the dumb shit that they say in the ring?
Only when Mr. Man's around.
Speak to the fans who Mr. Man is, because we all are not familiar with him.
Mr. Man is one of the best promoters and managers ever, in my opinion.
Him and Mr. High Voltage Omar, they've had a couple run-ins, if I'm not mistaken. Oh boy. Now, Bob Thorp, you've only been to no, not Bob Thorp, Brother Bob. What the fuck am I doing?
You got names, pal.
I know you've only been up to Battlefront a couple times, but I know after finding out how close 01 USA Northeast is, I guarantee when the shit boils over, you're going to go check out yourself some 01, aren't you, my friend?
You're damn right I am. I'm going to be just like the photo man here and not get close to ringside, mind you. I stay in my seat. And, it's just, you learn a whole different kind of point of view when you're behind the lens of a camera.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I can't wait to hopefully get to 0-1 and shoot those men and women as well.
Hey, you better watch your tone. You just can't
shoot them all.
Okay, you gotta watch yourself nowadays.
That's right. Everybody gets butt hurt nowadays.
Mr. Kulick, now for Mr. Dan the Photo Man, if you've never seen, are you familiar at all with any of these gentlemen at all? Mr. Dan the Photo Man?
Oh, Dan the Photo Man.
Okay, nope. because I want to describe the energy that Mr. Kulick brings into the room. It's like when Norm walks in the Cheers. Mr. Donovan, it's just like when Norm walks in the Cheers. He comes walking in and he will just name a name. Woo! Erick, do your job. Shit like that. Oh my God. Wait till you see Jim at a show. Oh, you are going to absolutely love Jim Kulick at a show. Jim Kulick, talk to us about upcoming and being a fan and why you like to be so vocal as a fan.
To be honest with you, Mr. Kincaid, it's just, I call it the Woo Crew's job. We have to come in and get this place amped up. The best thing is walking in the door and seeing all the families. I know they're going to get fired up. And then they get the guys and the gals fired up. That's what we do. We come in and try to get the heat going. You know what I'm saying? Get the guys fired up. Get the place amped up. You're not walking into church, people. You're going to professional wrestling. That's what it's all about. And if I can get some smiles, like I know the Future's fired up, man. Look at him cracking up. He loves it. I love it. That's right. That's right. You got EH to my left. What's on my phone to the left? And then right there, baby, you got the Drinkwater, man. That's right. Chat and scratch or scratch and chat or whatever. What do you call it, brother?
Lotto and chat. It's gonna I'm gonna rename it. It's gonna be called Lotto and Chat Road to a Million.
Oh, I love it. You're gonna win it too. One of these days, I'm telling you, I had never seen a guy get so fired up about scratch and scratching. He inspired me. I got two sitting right here. But I'm waiting. I'm gonna go live on his show later and scratch the tickets. You know what I'm saying? No, I'll be honest with you guys. Getting it fired up is what we do as the Woo Crew. And let me tell you something. Stirring the pot, the round table has become a way of life. We got to get the merch, guys. We have to do it.
Oh, yeah.
There's nobody to buy it.
There's nobody to buy it. We can buy our own merch.
We can buy our own merch.
Yeah, we can buy our own merch. What the fuck?
I still suggest we have a Roundtable Royal Rumble as the next Battlefront show. That way we can, show them.
First off, fucking Sima, because I'm only 35 pounds, so you better watch yourself. Yeah, I'm no backing. Okay.
I'm a bit easy, so you stand a better chance than I do. I probably run the ropes and have a freaking asthma attack.
Well, in all honesty, if you want to use me as a kendo stick to maybe try to hurt somebody, I'm down with that. I don't care. I'll be a weapon.
Say F off, sign F off on your forehead.
Now, Donovan, have you ever heard of some of these promotions that we were talking about with Dan the Man out and
unfortunately, no.
Dude, you've got to check these out. Just now, Dan, if you don't know, because obviously you don't know who Donovan is, we call him the Future. He does this cool little interview gig. It's usually post-event, and he gets the time of the men and women. His mom gives him a helping hand. Gotta love mom. She holds the camera. He holds the microphone. I've seen him shirtless with waves and curls at one point in time. It threw me for a bit. We got that panned out, though. We got that panned out.
Shirtless now. Oh my God.
See what happened? See what
I'll blur that out later.
It's a family show.
You're amped up. You don't see this stuff when I first get to the shows, man. You're just sitting there chilling, and I got to come in and fire you up.
Like, you want me to take my shirt off next show?
No, that's okay, bro.
Look at what I triggered, Mr. Dan the Photo Man. I said shirtless, and holy shit, chaos just ensued.
I didn't know this had a show.
You start
Oh man. Now-
belly slap. I'm gonna run for the exit.
Oh shit! You know what? If you guys know, why don't you guys? You know what, Kulick? Why don't you throw out a little question for something? Because I'm gonna go try to find our special guest. I almost forgot about him. So why don't you take the soiree over, if you will, sir?
I shall take the soiree over. No problem with the round table of 7 or 8 or whatever we are right now. Question I have for you guys. I threw it out on my Facebook page yesterday. And what I did for you was, well, most of you anyways, I want to know who your favorite wrestler is of all time and why. So why don't we start off with the future? Keep
All
the
right.
shirt on, bro.
The shirt's staying on. My favorite wrestler of all time. It's easy. John Cena. He was the first ever wrestler I ever saw, and I kind of just looked up to him from then. Found out he's from Massachusetts. Went to Springfield College. Collected pretty much every shirt and hat and armbands that he's ever had. So yeah, he's my all-time favorite and will always be.
That's awesome. What about you, EH?
Oh, geez. You know, I know it's kind of a cop-out answer, but I grew up in the early 80s. I would have to say, of all time, I got to go with, Hogan. I mean, he was the captivation of my age group,
Absolutely.
I'll admit it. I was a Hulkamaniac as a kid,
Did you ever
all the way.
Did you ever experience, Hulkamania actually being there live?
No. My time of going to live shows was far beyond Hulkamania. It already run its course.
Gotcha. Brother Bob.
What's up? Okay, I actually got two. I'm gonna say first Roddy Piper, because he was just gold on the mic. And
Absolutely.
two, Steve Austin. We all live vicariously through that man who did not want to kick the shit out of him. Awesome.
That's it, baby. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. What about you, DW? Tell me, baby. Tell me.
Big Van Vader.
Oh,
Hey,
That's a good
I've
choice.
I've always been a huge fan of him, and I got to meet him twice, and the second time I met him, we talked for about a good 35 minutes about his time in Japan, and he was one of the nicest guys you could have ever met.
that's awesome. I met him
Nice.
also. He's at a West Springfield show years
Yeah.
back, just for a quick set. What about you there, Mr. Dan the Photo Man?
I've always been a fan of The Undertaker. I think he's a great showman. Over all these years, he's kept that mystique. And being in the audience when he comes out and just the air, you just feel it all. It's amazing.
Awesome. Don Kincaid, are you available? Are you still having technical
he's
difficulties?
Well, I am here. I can hear everything you guys are saying,
All right, so
and my special guest hasn't answered or doesn't want to. So I'm trying to find a different one.
oh, all right. So I'm gonna let you do your thing, and then I'm gonna keep firing away the question, if that's okay.
Yeah, you can do that, my friend. Please do.
All right. I feel like the co-star of stirring the pot today with the round table. I love it. All right, guys. You know what? The guys who have seen the crazy Woo Crew, your favorite Woo Crew moment. Come on, give me one, guys. I'm gonna go with Donovan. Donovan, your favorite Woo Crew moment. The future, baby.
Probably getting called out by you. At first show that I ever went to, or when we first originally met, and you called me out. From there, my name got out there.
But that's my name to get you amped up because you are the future.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. EH the man. Let's hear what you have to say, brother. Favorite Woo Crew moment.
Oh, geez. I mean, You can't just pick one, Jim. That's not fair. Anytime that you're calling out Larry and telling him to wake up, or thankfully I've never had to be told to wake up. Thankfully, because you're like a pit bull with that, and I love it. And we all know that Larry loves it too.
Oh my God, the best guy in the world. Larry is the man. I never say his last name right, but I call him Larry. Larry. I love it. What about you, DW? Give me one, baby.
Hold on. Whoa. Hold the phone.
Wait a minute.
The phone.
Hey, that's my line.
Man, look who it is.
Who do we got?
You guys don't recognize that beautiful mush? That is Maksim himself.
Oh, God.
Maksim.
I'm looking, but I'm not seeing anybody there, Don Kincaid.
We're not seeing video here.
Oh, really? I see video.
I see Maksim.
Maksim, do you hear us?
I hear every one of you.
Now I see him.
Damn. I didn't expect him to join, guys. I apologize. Mr. Morozov.
Me?
We were just talking wrestling and favorite wrestlers and stuff. Jim Kulick had a question. Who would be your all-time favorite wrestler? So let's throw it to Mr. Morozov.
Too difficult. John Michaels probably growing up. Then it kind of transitioned to Great Sasuke from Japan.
Oh, wow.
No Dragon.
Wow. Can I hit the pause button while you guys, because I think I might have two special guests. Check this shit out. You guys are gonna love this. Watch this.
Next 70, Don Kincaid.
So Mr. Morozov.
We're paused so we can screw around now.
Mr. Morozov, I thank you for coming in. Do you like talking to the fans at the shows? Is that something you're catering to do, or you don't like the fans at all?
If I have time.
All right. Hold on.
I am international star. Of course I like talking to the fans, Don. Why would I talk to you if I don't like talking to the fans?
Well, because look,
I would have chose the red instead of the green one if I didn't like talking to the fans.
You're yelling at me. So how do you like saying that you like talking to the fans? You're yelling at me.
I'm not yelling at you. This is the way I talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have another special guest. It's the Warden from Pyramids of Power. Oh, look how fitting it is. We have a member of Collusion, and now we have a member of Pyramids of Power, and I can't see you, which is probably a good thing. Mr. Warden, are you there, sir?
I'm here. Can you see me?
No, I can't. Wait.
I can.
You
I got
can?
him over here.
Oh my God, I do see you, son of a bitch. Mr. Warden, Mr. Morozov, you're very acquainted with each other. How fitting that we're in the same soiree with each other. You guys don't know what's going on right now. How are you both, sir?
How you doing? Morozov, my friend, how you been?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, when are we gonna go after this skinny man and get our money?
I know, right? I forgot he owed me money until you guys brought it up.
No, I haven't forgotten. Our bookkeeper, well, the first one got fired. The second one, no. He needs to let me know how much it is.
This is true. You go through so many of them.
Yeah, because they don't know how to do the job right.
There's been at least five bookkeepers, probably more than five, because they can't keep track of my amount in the books. Now, I'd like to hear from each of the fans that are in this room right now. Mr. Kulick, are you familiar with both the Warden and Mr. Morozov?
No, to be honest with you, I'm not.
With who? You have to give me the direction. With either one?
With either one, brother.
Really? Oh my
Well, you
God.
should definitely get in touch and watch my things.
Yeah, you should know. You should look us up.
I'm not
We all-
watching for things, okay? Whatever your own time is, whatever.
I know that's how my things end up missing is when you try to watch them.
Yeah. Mr.
Oh, hey,
Kulick.
Don.
Yes, sir.
Don,
Yes.
I want to give the fans a little surprise or sneak peek of who you really afraid of in this family. Go ahead.
Oh Lord.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
That donkey dead.
I can't see it. I don't know what happened.
Don't stop me. Don't stop.
Okay, go back to your cage.
Who was that?
Yes, Donovan.
Say hello. Say hello to Mrs. Warden.
Yeah, that was Mrs. Warden, ladies and germs. Holy
Nothing can
shit.
please.
I am so glad I don't have one of those.
Right up. The dancing
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Warden. Thanks for that a lot. Yeah, look at Donovan laughing at my demise. Oh God. Speaking of,
Hey, hold on. Kincaid. Let me address my friend Morsoff there. Morsoff, I love the beard.
Thank you.
It's been a while. How's your injury going? Is it 100%?
What are you talking about? I've been wrestling.
Yes, the boys don't let me know anything. I'm in the behind the scene look. I'm trying to find the 6th bookkeeper. This one that will be next to Don. I think I'm gonna actually hire his father. We're in good terms.
I'm confused of who is actually in that cage, you or her.
True.
Speaking of not having one of those, Mr. Morosoff, if you notice, I'm wearing a blue shoes. I love referee Gina blue shoes.
My ex-wife, yes.
Yes. Did you guys hear that? Mr. Drinkwater, Mr. Kulick, Mr. Bob Thorp, Mr. Huntington, Mr. Donovan, Mr. Dan the Man. No, not Dan the Man, Dan the Photo Man. Did you hear what he just said?
Mhm.
Ref Blue Shoes is Mr. Morosoff's ex-wife. Mr. Morosoff, talk to us about that. Just
Hold on, I have to stop you for a minute. Dan the Man, your complexion has lightened up through this quarantine. I am very concerned about you. Are you feeling well?
Peaches.
I have a question to ask Don.
Oh my God! Whew, I did not see that coming. That was
There you go. Even quarantine happens.
You're very pale looking, all I'm saying.
now referee Blue Shoes, Gina, if you will, and yourself. You had this little thing. You would come out and you would be like, "Yeah, my wife, my beautiful wife," and all of this stuff. Could you talk to us about how all of that kind of started? I know we've talked before, but I have some new friends right here. Talk to us about the relationship with you and Gina.
Very painful memories you tried to bring up. Why do you do this?
Because I like to boo you and you like to pee
I
on.
now live alone with my dogs, and you like to throw it in my face.
Oh my God! I choked on my soda. That was fantastic.
So yes, Red Gina, she put my hat on, she did a little dance, and we got married.
Yeah, but you called it a marriage. How is it an official marriage? Because she did the Russian dance. Is that all it takes?
Exactly, that's all that matters. That was
Hey,
consent.
Yeah. Hey, Mike Drinkwater, do yourself a favor. If you ever see Mr. Morosoff, don't put his hat on and do a Russian dance because you two are going on a honeymoon.
It does not work that way.
Don't worry,
Does
I
not
won't.
work that way.
Now, Mr. Bob Thorp, aren't you familiar with at least Mr. Warden or Mr. Morosoff? Because we've seen them both at Battlefront.
I'm familiar with both of them, but more Maksim than anyone because my very first Battlefront show, he was beardless, and that's how I remember him. I yelled at him. He was from Chernobyl or something like that, and he said something.
That's what we do.
And I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was.
Yeah, that's what we do with Mr. Morosoff. We yell at him, he yells back. That's the way we like it.
You like being yelled at, do you?
Yeah. At
Maybe
wrestling-
you go in cage sometimes.
My teacher says never break kayfabe. So,
Yeah,
love
never
it.
break kayfabe. You know, that's the thing. I'd like to talk about kayfabe since we're all kind of in here. We have a couple superstars right now. How do you feel about kayfabe, Mr. Dan the Photo Man? Do you like when it's like when they live it, or do you like when it's kind of broken?
I think a good wrestler lives it, and it's part of their personality.
Mr. Donovan, I think you're one to love kayfabe. Am I correct, sir?
Yes. It's funny.
He was like, hell yeah. Mr. Kulick, I'm not sure where you're going on this. Why don't you tell us where you fit on the kayfabe thing?
I think it's a good thing for the guys and the girls to kind of stick with their persona, just so it doesn't like hurt fans' feelings or other people's feelings are good. Like this guy freaking MJF, he's a real douchebag.
He's a good friend.
He's great at what he does, man. But this thing with the kids, man, they gotta lose that quick.
It does get a little saucy, if you will. Mr. Drinkwater, do you like the whole kayfabe thing, or you can take it or leave it?
I like the whole kayfabe thing, but I also can take the heat. So I guess it's even for me.
All right, Mr. Hunting, I'm assuming that you love yourself some kayfabe.
Oh, I do. I do. If you're supposed to be, I don't like to use a lot of the wrestling terms because I'm not a wrestler. So if you're a bad guy, be a damn bad guy. Hate the people, yell at them like Mr. Morozov does. Give the people shit. Go after the guy that boos you and try and get money from him.
Hey,
I mean, you all deserve it, and let's be honest.
Hey, we are what we are.
Hey, well, when you come out that curtain, both of you, I'm addressing Mr. Warden and Mr. Morozov, you give us signals that you want us to boo you, and I appreciate that. But then when we boo you, you like to shit on us. Like, what boo you? What are you doing?
I'm like an angry ex-wife, this double-edged sword. Nothing you do is right.
Dude, just don't be like my anger, please.
Hey, it goes on also. You gotta also know that even though we're in this business, there were other greats that paved the way for us. I can mention greats like Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, probably one of the most hated men in the world. But then again, he was one of the nicest behind the scenes, but you never know it. You got Jake the Snake right now, who's still kicking. I think one of the best masterminds in the world. And if you can't play the part, don't do it.
Yes.
If you can't do it, don't do it. Like I know where Morrisov has come from when he says he's like an ex-wife. No matter what, you're not doing anything right. We're still gonna scream at you no matter what. Yeah, boo us all you want. Done. You can boo us again. You just know it's gonna go on your tab.
I know. It's $5 every time I boot Mr. Donovan. I don't know if you're aware of this
No, that was
bullshit.
hey! I got news flash for you, and I think Morrisov is gonna like this one. 2019, it was $5 a boo. It's 220. It's 2020, buddy. You gotta double it up.
Inflation, my friend. Inflation.
Inflation has, especially this quarantine that we hardly see you. You're booing us virtually, man. It's gonna be triple.
I haven't even gotten my stimulus check.
Listen, if you need a stimulant from Donald Trump, you have a problem.
That's the stimulant.
I mean, my name is Don. His name is Don. What the fuck? Where's my money?
You're skinny. He's rich. There's a difference.
That's what I'm talking
Sign
about.
it over to Morozov.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Mr. Thorp. I can never have a fair shot with either one of these two guys at a show at any time. Now, Mr. Thorp, you like to boo the bad guys, but when it comes back at you, I think you even love that a little bit more. Don't you kind of enjoy that as a fan when you get that retaliation back?
Oh yeah, it just adds up to just get them that much more, and just stick it to the man, stick it to the man, stick it to the man. They stick it back to you, stick it back to you.
And then the second we lose, you get whatever it is back, right? Yeah, that's what you get.
Mhm. That's exactly how it is.
I've watched a lot of bad guys in my days. You know, I started off in the 70s and worked my way through till now. And I've seen a lot of great characters, a lot of great heel characters. And it's just so much fun just to you try to get them and they come back at you just as hard. And, oh, it's great. It's just great. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Look at the hair on my arms, Dan.
That's what happens though. When I'm on these interviews with some of the men and women, I just randomly get like these crazy goosebumps just talking wrestling. Isn't that one of the craziest feelings as a fan though? I mean, even yourself, Mr. Morosoff, Mr. Warden. And I know you have to start off as fans, but you continue to be fans and you still get these little goosebumps in wrestling. Isn't that just amazing over time how that happens?
You never stop being a fan. If you stop being a fan and you start not loving the business anymore, then it's time to go.
Yep.
I agree. I agree. And I could say this, as a fan, you grow. And as a superstar, you grow. So as a wrestling figure, you grow. You never stop learning. You always learn. And like Warsaw, my friend said there, if you have stopped loving this business, get out. It's not gonna work for you. Get out. We all could attest as fans, seeing people who 9 years ago couldn't wrestle due to injuries, and now seeing them that big pop that Edge himself got at the Royal Rumble. That must have been one of the greatest pops I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And it's because the love of the business is there. He did it because the love of the business.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. It really hurts a lot. So if you don't love it, it's definitely not worth it.
Exactly.
Now, we talk about evolution of character on the Stirring the Pots a lot. But you mentioned something. We evolve as fans, and I didn't really ever think of that. But Mr. Kulick, I have a question specifically for you because of the whole Woo Crew thing. Was it always the Woo Crew or the Woo when you would go to shows, or did you evolve as a fan into this thing?
You know, all my life, Ric Flair's been my favorite wrestler for forever. And just I don't know, man. The energy that guy brought was amazing. And it was funny. When I used to go years back, I didn't really understand the business. I was just always, screaming at him and this and that. Now I know both sides of the business because I have so many friends that are wrestlers. And I know what they're trying to do for the shows. And when we come in, we just try to get people involved, man. And, it kind of just took over. It's, you guys know Antonio the Promise Thomas. He gave me the name, the Woo Guy. So, I don't know, kind of just stuck from there. And then, we just go in and try to get the place fired up, man. I've had more of the guys and gals come over and thank us at the end of a show just for getting everybody fired up. And then when we walk in, they know we're there. So, if we can give you guys that support, that's what we're all about.
Mr. Dan, the photo man, do you find that from place to place, the crowds change? Because sometimes the wrestling is a little bit different from event to event, but do you find that the crowds chant more, chant less, chant different things? Some are dirtier than others. Do you find that as a photographer?
Oh, definitely. World of Hurt has what I think is similar to your Woo Crew. They call the chant crowd. And it's the same thing. They come in, they stir it up. And when they're not there, the whole crowd is just dead. And when you got a dead crowd, everything just drops. Recently,
it really only takes like one or two people, and you have those that are there and implanted that come to the shows organically and are there all the time, and they really get the crowd going completely. The one person can start that entire train, and so people like the Woo Crew, we definitely appreciate and need them at every show, because sometimes those are the ones who are the catalysts that start the rest of the people to go.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man.
And I'll kind of utilize what you just said, Mr. Morosoff and Mr. Dan the Photo Man, because when we were at Survival Championship Wrestling for the debut, a lot of people came out for that show, but a lot of people didn't know how to act for each wrestler. And I know almost every single one that was on the bill, and the ones that I met previously, I kind of felt them out a little bit. And I was doing that a little bit because like Mike Skyros comes out, people didn't know how to react to him. I booed the living shit out of him, and he barked. He literally barked me down into my seat, yelling at me on my camera, little by little by little by little by. And the crowd saw that, and they fed off of that. And those are the things that we try to do as fans for you guys and girls, because not everybody knows your name or your face. So we try to do those little things. And like Mr. Krosov said, it's that catalyst that really gets it triggered a little bit, and people kind of warm up to that, and will laugh with you, will boo with you. And I just love wrestling, and it's to get the men and women to watch it. And this thing right here. We'd like to talk our favorite men and women on the industry. Now, Mr. Morozov, Mr. Warden, do you have any specific people? I mean, obviously, Mr. Warden, you work with his POP specifically, being a pyramid power. Mr. Morozov, being more of an end. Do you have specific teams or men or women that you like to go against more than others because you find a little more comfortability in it?
I like to go against Team España. They're a lot of fun. Back in early 2000s, it was Mexico's Most Wanted. As you know, Don, I've been doing this for a very long time, and I started my start in Southern California. And I was teamed with a guy named American Wild Child, and we teamed up against Mexico's Most Wanted quite a bit, who are big stars in Mexico, with Damien 666 and Halloween.
Now, Mr. Warden, do you have any teams that you like to oppose the most?
Back in Battlefront, we opposed a lot of Southern Discomfort. That was fun. Making sure they know who actually dominated Battlefront a lot. Down in PAPW, I think the Haven and House of Pain has been some of the guys that. Well, House of Pain, I think it's the ones that we're trying to go after. But down in PAPW, we're more of a collusion, if you want to say it that way. So we just like beating up on the whole roster.
Now, Mr. Drinkwater, do you find that going from, a PvP show to a different promotion, being like a Battlefront or a WMW or whatever, do you find that it's a different environment with the fans and such, or do you feel it's just kind of something?
I see, I do see a different environment, but as long as some of the people that I see that I know, like Kulick, he's always there, and me, and I know a couple of you are going to disagree. I will never step foot in a PvP or WMW show again.
Oh.
I will never go again. But I'll always live the Battlefront. I think Battlefront's a great promotion. NEW, Northeast Wrestling, that crowd is amazing. I love that crowd so much. Beyond Wrestling, I love Beyond Wrestling crowds. They have a lot of energy. XWA, I've been to one of their shows. They have a lot of energy. So, I mean, it depends on which show I go to.
Donovan, Mr. Drinkwater just talked about some cool promotions. The Northeast Wrestling Beyond here are quite different than some of the other independent shows. How do you dig that environment with like a Beyond where the fans get like right up to the ring? Would you like to be part of something like that?
Yeah, it's cooler when you like how close you are to the ring than when you're far away. It's kind of like you're almost involved in the match when you're right next to it, rather than if you're sitting down in a chair. It's just, I don't know. It's two different atmospheres, pretty much. The whole thing.
Being close to the action, Mr. Hunting, I've seen Mr. Logan Black come and grab him on an entrance and do like a run around the ring and shit. But that's what we're talking about. You like that stuff, don't you, my friend?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, you know, we love to watch the show. We love to, you know, get to experience it. But anytime that those guys, the boys and girls, get you involved in it, it's like a dream come true. It made a 43-year-old guy feel like a kid again. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's crazy. Anytime that, even if they verbally interact with you, you know, not too long ago, Zachary Pierre Bellew, he's changed his character. And I asked him where his accent went. And he said the accent is gone, and he called me a douchebag. Because I called him out on it. But you know what?
Who changes their accent? That's weird.
You know, it's weird how those accents work, Maksim.
I don't know what you mean. This is totally weird.
It's okay. You can call me a douchebag if you want.
And the photo man being so close to the action, right at ringside, literally. Have you ever been kicked in the, you know, in the camera, in the face, in the side? Have you ever kind of taken a bump, if you will?
I've had a lot of close calls. I've had people step on my arm as they're getting in the ring. I had Sergeant Fury held me hostage, trying to hide behind me.
That sounds like something the Warden would do. Absolutely.
Hey, Don.
What?
Do not ask other people the questions that happened to you. You forgot. You're the one that had a flying Dirty Dan knock you off your seat.
Well,
that sounds disgusting, actually. You must be patient zero after that.
I don't remember a whole lot. I had bandages on my head to follow me.
And Don, you cannot forget the time you were wrapped up in my trunk.
How can I ever thank the Mrs. Warden, one of the most
Dan,
nightmare.
Mr. Kincaid, I think you need therapy because the things that having Dirty Dan thrown at you, being locked in the these are fetishes even I won't go near.
Is there any way that we could create just a little bit of heat between you two so the next time we see you guys, the POP and the collusion, you fight like cats and dogs? Is there any way we can create some right here, right now, please?
What are you talking about? Our collusion is strong.
Very strong.
Kincaid,
That's not what I heard.
The bar is not too happy about. Well, if you saw my last video.
I did. I watch all your stuff. Unfortunately, I watch all your stuff. Now, Mr. Kulick.
Newsfeed. I might start doing that newsfeed more often.
That was great.
That's not good. Mr. Kulick, haven't we have such a fine time with the Warden and Mr. Marasa? Do you see the character that they bring to the table? You got to look these two up and check them out, man.
Well, to be honest with you, the little dude with the mask, that guy's awesome. I remember him now. He was the manager of Lala Ding Ding and Ding Dong, whatever their names were, right?
Hey. Learn the name.
That's actually perfect. I'm impressed you got their names right the first time.
No, it's Aladdin and Aladdin Ding, the Pyramids of Power. Come on, man.
That's what their names were, the Pyramids of Power.
That's what
They
he
need to
said,
get more
right?
of a push. Lala Ding Ding, that guy's pretty good, man. I like that guy.
I like that, La La Ding Ding. I'm going to call him that now. I like that a lot.
Hey, come on, guys. Aladdin Ding.
No, honestly, Pyramids of Power, man, that's been their best gimmick, man. They're doing really great. That's where it was. You've been to I've been to some of the shows you've been at. Battlefront, way back when. And then other ones.
Just remember, the only 2-time Battlefront Tag Team Champions.
That's right. They got to get him back.
He reminds us all the time, believe me.
Hey, Don, don't forget, I have a picture of you wearing our turban. I'll send it out again.
Forcefully shoved on my poor little skull bone.
Hey. The picture has you looking at me wearing it. It doesn't show me grabbing you by your neck, putting you on your knees like you like to be on, and shoving that on your head.
And pictures don't lie.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Photo Dan.
Wait, does it mean
My
you're gay
expert's
now?
turn.
Fuck your name is nowadays. Son of a bitch, really? Wow. Do you see this, Don? Try to have friends over during quarantine. Oh my God, yeah,
Hey,
it'll be
I hope
fun.
that
Yeah.
I hope that's non-alcoholic what you're drinking.
It's straight up Pepsi.
You
If
know
I-
it's not. It's probably.
If I was drinking
I've
alcoholic,
seen you stirring the pot when you're drinking. I'm pretty sure it's jet fuel.
Yep. He's always drinking something, Morrisov. Always.
man, did I get tanked on moonshine with Ref Bill? That was fucking awesome. Oh my God. Hey, do you know that I'm doing 5 interviews today and I talked to Dan the Man for 2.5 hours? I'd like to get some insight. Jim Kulick, Dan the Man, what do you got?
Oh, Dan the Man's awesome. He is it's funny though, when he tries to be a face, it just doesn't work, man. He's a classic heel. Classic heel. Every time he comes in, his promos are awesome. The guy's just a pillar of the independent wrestling community, man. Great talent in the ring and on the mic, man.
Brother Bob Thorp, you know yourself some Dan the Man in Battlefront as part of the governors, the leader, if you will. What do you think of yourself, some Dan the Man?
I can't say what any more than what Tim said. He's classic hero. He demands the attention of the crowd. If the crowd just feeds off him. I like him. You know, he's doing things.
I didn't hear everything you said, but I heard awesome, and that alone just made me fucking sick.
And then they say the Russian doesn't know how to talk English.
Are you in Alabama right now? I'm pretty sure that was Alabama language.
Hey, Morrisov, what did he say?
He said, what damn, there, that is what he said.
Mr. Donovan, if you can catch a breath for a second, are you familiar with Dan the Man?
Yes, I've seen him a few times in a ring. He's really good at doing his role in the wrestling community, the wrestling world.
Has he ever let you interview him?
No, I haven't even reached out to him once, but he's on the list. He's on the list of interviews.
Yeah. Be careful.
He's on the list?
Yeah.
He's on the list. I have a list.
There's definitely some list you don't want to be on.
Does the shirt need to come off?
No.
Oh, no.
So get yourself amped up.
Mr.
You're not one of those guys who make lists like in Adam Sandler movie, right? You like mark it off after he tells you nice things, and then.
Glad I called that guy.
Mr. Drinkwater, I'm sure you're familiar with Dan the Man. Give us your thoughts on Dan the Man.
Well, I think Dan the Man is really talented. He's got a lot of, he's got a big future, and which brings me actually to one quick story, which I'm going to say real quick. I used to referee a long time ago. I only did a couple matches, and one of them happened to be Dan the Man versus Lucas Sharp, and it was in Rhode Island for I don't know. I think the only person that might know the same as you, Kulick, Joey Rockstar Tobalin. I don't know if you remember him, but he ran the promotion, and that was probably one of the most funnest matches I got to referee, because in the building it had all these flags from like different countries like Japan and Russia and all that, and they kept pointing to them, and they ended up having me point to one, and I pointed to the American flag. Why would you even do that? You're supposed to point to a different country, and I'm like, I don't know. And then I got clotheslined by Lucas Sharp, and And then I got up, and Dan the Man went to go do a super kick to Lucas Sharp, and Lucas ducked, hit right in the corner of the eye, and I ended up getting a black and blue, like from like here to like here, and I went into work the next day, and they're looking, they're like, "What happened to you?" I said, "I got kicked in the face by a wrestler." So, it was just a really fun match to referee, and and Dan the Man gave me a compliment and said that was probably one of the best refereeing jobs I saw in a long time.
A couple things about that. You were a referee. Holy shit. The other thing, we need to see the footage of you getting clotheslined and face kicked in. Please, let's see that footage. We got to see.
I'll look and see if I can find it.
Did you go to wrestling school, DW?
No.
You were a ref? I would have loved to have gotten on your case. Slow count, Drinkwater. Slow count.
Just because the only reason why I got to do the refereeing for that promotion was because Joey Donovan wanted me to let me learn how to referee, and it was just a learning experience.
He's like,
so it was just that one time.
Yeah, two major things you need to know as a referee: count to 3 and get out of the way. You only got one of those right, apparently.
Apparently.
There's some slow counting reps in this business, let me tell you.
You need to work on the get out of the way part.
Yeah.
Mr. Dan the Photo Man. Are you familiar with Dan the Man?
Nope.
Whoa.
Whoa. Drinkwater. What are you drinking?
Coke?
Oh, I was gonna say, man, that was like a healthy swig, bro.
It's almost done. That's why.
What's in the Coke though? Like Coke with what?
Yeah, Mr. Dan the Photo Man. What you want to do is look up on the face page and the Twitter. Look up Dan the Man. He is a character that you'll never regret looking up. First off, and he stays there. We were talking kayfabe. That guy, I say he's right on the top of the list of our men and women that I know. That kayfabe thing for him, man, he lives that whole thing. He's a pretty good character. Look him up.
Nice.
Mr. Hunting, I know you're familiar with some.
Yeah, I love Dan the Man. Let me rephrase that. I love to hate Dan the Man. You know what I mean? He just brings it out of you. Where you just, man, it's a good thing that we don't have a boo tax on us for Dan the Man, because everybody could be paying out. I mean, be making a rain.
A boo tax? I love it. Captain promotion right there, baby. EH for life.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's why Kincaid does me so much money.
Yeah, what do you mean you love it? I'm in the fucking hole, thousands of dollars. Oh, I love it. What's wrong with you?
Hey, Don. Just remember this. You owe us thousands. Imagine how much you're going to owe us after this.
I did it.
Check is getting signed over.
It's a stimulant check. I didn't give you rent.
Listen, like I said, if Donald Trump is giving you a stimulant, you have a problem. Last time I checked, the American word is stimulus.
Hey, I don't know what kind of check you're getting, but that's it.
Hey, this is, man, Don, you really got to learn. Careful
this
what comes out.
This is very lonely.
Can I ask everybody something right now? We've been running for about 58 minutes. Have we had a good time today?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well,
we're talking wrestling, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. I'm sorry to the fans that are on here, not the superstars, because I only thought they were going to stay for like 5 minutes. I'm so sorry.
So did the people at Costco. They're waiting me to leave the parking spot.
Hey.
Wait, you've been killing time on stirring the pot while you're waiting in line at Costco? Is that what the hell's going on?
Of course, you catch me. You called me. You told me.
Hey, Don. Does
I was getting toilet paper and putting it in back in the car. That's why I didn't come up on video.
Morozov, last time I see, if I'm not mistaken, you're in your car. How is it you're standing in line in your car at the same time? Don, look right. You just said he's standing in line. Telling you go.
No, I
what-
did not. I said I meant parking space. You don't understand.
Uh-oh, he's throwing out the accent.
Social distancing, you don't stand in line, all right? So he could be in line right now. There could be a line of cars. Okay, he's sitting in line. Gee whiz, what's with the technical bullshit?
I don't ever stand in line. People just move. I don't know why.
I would imagine.
Hey, they're giving you the floor like you deserve, Morozov.
Hey, today has been amazing, and I cannot thank each and every one of you for coming in, spending some time, dealing with my silliness. We had a lot of laughs. I think that's all we did. My fucking cheeks. I know Donovan's is killing me right now. There ain't no way. I hope that we all had at least a little bit of chance to talk. We got to say our piece about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but it was all about what we absolutely love and miss right now is wrestling. So I thank each and every one of you sitting right here now with me so much. Thank you so much for spending this past hour with me. I love you guys for doing this. Really, thank you.
Stirring the pot for life, baby.
It's always a blast.
Oh, by the way,
thank
You
you.
know what? Hey, real quick, guys. You know what? Donovan was laughing so hard his beard started to grow. See it? Look at that.
His ear? I thought that was his cheek.
Give her a walk there.
No.
Oh God, look at what you did now, Kulick.
Hey, Kulick,
Now,
thank you. He just took off his shirt. I got somebody that wants to see that.
Oh no! Oh no!
Here comes
Sorry, guys. My wife's preparing dinner.
Why is there so much screaming over there? What are you doing?
Who is she preparing?
Like I said, my wife's preparing dinner.
exactly. Who is she preparing? You've got that right. She is a flip job. I am never going back to that house ever again. Ever.
Hey, Kincaid, real quick. The juice bar is open, you know.
Oh,
She's on now.
Well, we got Nakoma coming on at 3:30. So,
Hey,
did you?
Kincaid,
Yeah, what?
don't forget, once this quarantine is over, we at Kevin Landry's Combine will expect you for Shut Up and Wrestle.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Hey, who's booking that show?
Who's booking that show?
Who's booking that show? I never got to the call.
I'll talk to my people, Morozov. We'll get you on there.
Delete.
Delete. Hey, done. That's what's gonna happen.
I took that button off my keyboard.
I'll be talking to upper management to get you on, Morozov, because that's the best place to find Mr. Kincaid, right in the front row.
Always. That's the way we like it, baby. Right in the front row. You guys have been absolutely amazing. I want to thank each and every one of you. The Warden, look him up on the face page and such. Mr. Kulick, love you to death, my friend.
Same here, brother.
Mr. Maksim Morozov, we have a rocky relationship. I owe both of you a lot of money. The F with it. You're never going to get a dime. You know what? Speaking of which, I've thrown you a roll of 50 pennies, and you threw it on the ground like it was garbage. I still got that roll of pennies.
Hey,
You're very disrespectful. You tried to put yourself as a good guy, but you're not.
I also want to thank Mr. Bob Thorp for jumping in on this one. It's his birthday, everybody. Give Big Bob Thorp
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
happy birthday.
Thank you, brother.
and friend Erick. I've been doing some late night soirees with him and friend Anissa. She stomachs me. So we have a good friendship going on. I love you guys to death. Thank you for coming on. Always a pleasure. Mr. Drinkwater, you scare me sometimes, but today we found out that you were a fucking referee. I never seen that coming at all.
Hey, he didn't see
You
the
know
super
what?
kick coming either.
Gotta get him back in the ring, man.
We will. I'll get on that.
Yeah. The guy who didn't take any training. You're gonna get on that. Mr. Donovan, you, my friend, I love having you. You're such a great addition. Your smile is infectious, and I love that you're coming on these things and having some fun with us. Thank you for coming on, my friend.
Thank you for
Plug
having me.
that. Plug that
And please
YouTube
keep your shirt
channel
on
too,
next time.
sir.
Yeah, keep it on.
Mr. Dan the Photo Man is a brand new addition today. I loved having you on. You gave us a little bit of insight. I was almost hoping to hear a story like like Mr. Drinkwater got a super kick to the face. Not that I'd want to see your demise, but I thought we would have gotten one of those stories. But hey,
I know how to
they-
duck.
Yeah.
Hey, photo man, I think you need to teach Don Kincaid how to duck.
I need to see your friend.
Thank you so much, Mr. Photo Man. Photo Dan the Photo Man. Dan the Photo Man.
Kincaid.
Is that right? What?
Kincaid.
What?
Shout out to the Beast.
To who?
Gotta shout out to the Beast.
Oh, the Beast. Well, what I try to do is we mix it up with different fans. So Raul couldn't be here this time. I'll be on the next one. We mix it up with different fans. So that's what we're trying to do. But we also got two big, huge superstars on our scene right now. The Warden, Mr. Maksim Rasov. Thank you both for spending the time and dealing with our kookiness. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. Check me out on YouTube and on the Facebook and other things. I
And-
put
Keep
down
mask on, bro.
funny videos.
Keep the mask on, baby. Don't reveal who you are.
No, never.
They had
the
a
other
ding
thing-
ding and ding dong for us.
I say it without
Hey.
La la ding ding. I like that. La la ding ding. I'm going to go with that for now.
Hey, Morsov, you're a family. You can get away with that, not them. Now, remember, guys, look us up. You can see some of our stuff on YouTube. Look us up, the Warden on Facebook, and hopefully Battlefront. Get ready. You never know when the door is gonna get kicked down again.
Hey, you never know. Today has been amazing. I really appreciate you guys. We had a lot of fun, and I can't wait till next week. I got a surprise for everybody coming next week. I'll tell you that. This was Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest. This is going to be a long one. Woo! Jim Kulick, the Warden, Maksim Rasov, Dan the man. What the?
Get it right, Dan the Photo Man.
Dan the Photo Man. Mike Drinkwater. The Future. Donovan. Friend Erick. Brother Bob Thorp. You guys have been amazing. I can't wait till next week, baby.
Round table for life, baby. Stirring the pot for life. Kincaid files for life, baby. Woo!
Don, pay up.